Hi, I am Centimus Prime, and here I'll be reviewing the Figma Ryuko Matoi. Now, before I get into this video, I would like to mention that I think I got the bootleg. Now, I will be explaining why throughout this video, but for starters, I will be telling you the differences between in the packaging. So here I have the Figma Ryuko's box, and here I have the Figma Satsuki's box. I know that I have the official Satsuki, but I'm pretty sure that the Ryuko is the bootleg. And my main reason for thinking that is I hear on the reviews and the videos and unboxings that you would notice that this little reflective silver sticker is featured on the Figma box. Well, on this Ryuko's Figma box, it is nowhere not featured on here. Now, this is a good indication on if you have the official product or a bootleg. So there is that. So let's get on to the figure itself. Now the figure itself looks alright. She definitely looks how she does in the show. But you would notice close up, if you look at her real close, you would notice that there is some sloppy work with the paint, but it's really not that bad. And some of the lines on the suits, they're kind of hard to notice because they're painted way thinner than they honestly should. But you do get a lot of the nice details. It gets a good bit of the back. It gets the back details really nicely, done real nicely, decently, pretty good. I'll take off the stand so I can show you the posability. The head is on a ball joint, a very expressive ball joint. Can look down pretty good, can look up a little bit, and you also would get a bit of a hinge in there, so you can look, so it would allow you to look up and down real good. Good. And these, so the Zenkai's collarbone shoulder pauldron things. On mine, they're pretty loose, especially the side with the eyeball. The eye patch side stays in for the most part, but this other one, it comes back. It can attach back on easily enough, but it's pretty loose. But I'm going to keep it off for right now because I've got to talk about more of the articulation. So here you have a ball joint here. Get a nice range of movement. Get a nice hinge in here, so you get some nice up and outward movements. Very nice. Here you would have you get like a swivel at this like little cube area, and you also get a bicep swivel under that cube area. That's interesting. You also get a bicep swivel at the elbow. So she has 3 bicep swivels. That's crazy. Her elbow can bend up a decent amount. Can bend back a good deal too. It can bend. This one, the elbow can bend farther because some of the joints aren't properly fitted in, but whatever. So here at the wrist, so you do get a wrist rotation as well as a hinge here, and you can also use a little peg to rotate the wrist itself. So you can get some really good movement out of that. Really good movement out of that. Very nice. I'm going to show you like the inner workings of this a little bit. So there's a ball joint here that attaches to that socket, a little hinge that goes up and down, and this little assembly can rotate a bit. So attaching that back, it can show you that you can use it to crunch that far. You can use it to crunch a good bit. You can have it arcing back a good bit, and you can even use it as a chest rotation. But I would recommend caution in this part because these straps, if you're not careful, you can like rip those 2 straps apart. Okay, so anyways, oops. So, man, I gotta talk. So, in here, okay, first of all, you can see like a little piece of masking tape that I added to give this joint more give that ball joint more friction. But in there, you would see that there would be like a ball joint somewhere in this area. So you can like use that to like rotate around a little bit. Whoops. So that just happened. But anyways, got a ball joint here. Now thankfully this skirt piece is made of a more rubbery type of plastic, so it can get out of the way a little bit of movement. And it is tight on mine, but you do actually get a thigh rotation. It can go 360. I would like to mention this little flap here at the front does not stay tabbed in. It's supposed to be flush, but it doesn't really stay the flush. But anyways, back to the articulation. The knee on this side goes about 90. On this knee, it goes a bit more than 90. Again, the joints are some of the joints aren't really fitted properly. But you do get a nice knee swivel. And for the ankles, so they can bend forward that far, they can bend back that far. You can swivel them around, and if you swivel both ends of this swivel of this joint, you can also use a hinge as a ankle tilt. So that's neat. That is about the articulation of this figure. Dang it. So you can put her in some pretty nice poses, but more than likely you'll have a hard time standing her up on them little high heels. So you most likely use the stand, which comes with the stand adapter. The adapter plugs in. The connection between these two is pretty weak, so I just connect the stand directly onto her. And hopefully the joint doesn't get undone. Next will be the accessories. So obviously you get like this little stand adapter thing. You get quite a few hands, and you also get included a hand holding device accessory. But on mine, the 3 of the pegs have broken off, and I would just like keep these in like a little bag. Which reminds me, this thing is supposed to come with a Figma Ziploc baggie just like the others, but it just doesn't. So let's start with the switchable hands. So you got the little fists. Fists are alright. You do get optional hands. Like the splayed open hands. No fun. Really? Where did that darn thing go? Oh well. I'll come back for that. I'll find that later. So anyways, you get the hands, the splayed open hands, do get what I like to call quote-unquote hands, but these ones do have some paint issues and like molding issues, but it's not really that bad. Now, this set also is supposed to come with two sets of grabby hands, a pair of like loosely fitting grabby hands, and like a pair of like tighter grip grabby hands. But I'm missing like the left like lost the left loose grip hand. So like there's that. Dang it. I keep dropping excess. Can be a bit fiddly. Very fiddly. Where? Okay, so that's on. This is on. Dang it. Let me just put the fist back on. And we do get the switchable hands. It's very nice. You would also get a couple of switchable faces. Very nice. You get her yelling face and her like she make her face her like hurt face, I think. And in the show that's the face she like makes when she gets hurt or something. Let's attach that real nicely. And another difference I'd like to note is that this red tab thing here, on the official one it's supposed to be black. So there is that. That is how that looks. Alright, there we go. So that looks nice. And we also get her yelling face. I wish I still had that Zenket's shoulder piece, but that somehow went missing. Oh well. I'll find it later. I still have accessories to talk about, like these scissor swords, both in its regular mode and in its transformed decapitation mode. In the show, it never actually decapitates, the sword never actually decapitates anybody. Wait a minute. I think it actually does. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen the show in a little while. But it's just a name to make this thing really cool. Sound cooler. So you can tell that it's basically this sword, but just transformed and extended out really nicely. Now the sword. Now both of these swords can split apart from the hilts. I'm not going to do that because on mine, this one is gets very loose very easily. So what I do to fix the looseness is I like put in like a small little piece of paper and I shove this in. It's like a way to add more friction to this. If you want, you can like split it apart and add it to like a transformer or something, or like a chug style transformer with those MechTech port hands. But it's fine. It can attach on to her hand very nicely, just fine. It doesn't require the part forming thing. Here is how she looks with the decapitated scissor blade. Very nice. last attempt at trying to find that during recording. But anyways, oh, and one more thing, actually, a couple more things. So, you do notice that when you switch out the hands, notice that these quite tiny, and if you think those might break, and in the off chance that those actually like do break, which is weird, which honestly those won't break anytime soon, but if in the off chance that they do, it does come with a spare wrist joint in case that in the off chance that happens. So that's lovely. And one more thing I'd like to mention before size comparison is she does not come with this. She does not. This is a Lego piece. It's a Lego microphone piece. But it fits onto her hand nicely. It fits on even better on like this one. It fits perfectly on that one. I'm gonna try to attach this one. Man, trying to do this on camera, it really is a pain. It really is. But there. And that actually looks pretty good. That minifigure, that Lego microphone actually fits in her hand and suits her very well. And as a nice little added bonus, up at like the near end of episode 1, she does actually pick up and talk through the microphone. So that's like a nice little additional accessory if you want to add that. But next, we can talk size comparison. So, for size comparisons, I'm just going to try to use what I have around. Minifigure. That's how she is next to a minifigure. Here, she is like next to one of my alternate builds. And because he's here, I'm just gonna put her right next to my custom Transformer OC. That looks nice. This is basic, but this is just Siege Prime in my colors, in my Centimus Prime colors. And for final thoughts, I do really like this figure. Dang it. Can't find that piece. Wait. Where did that piece go? Oh well. So final thoughts. I do really like this figure. I do have so much fun playing with this figure. But I do have issues with this one. With this one. Like you can, like, playing with it, you can obviously like tell it's a bootleg and stuff. Because like the joints don't properly fit, the paint ain't the best, like I do have, there are some those nitpicks, but overall I do really like this figure. And she's honestly would be a nice stand-in Ryuko Matoi Figma figure, in case like if I ever want to, like, honestly I would want to get the official one. Because of course I would. It's Figma Ryuko. I would really like the official one. But this one ain't too bad either. Considering the price on this one. I'm pretty sure this one's like either 20 or 30 bucks, I guess. I'm guessing. Like these, like bootleg ones are usually pretty cheap. And I think that'll be it. If you liked the video, please consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment down below. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.